All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, it's that time of the week, folks. My key games for the upcoming Saturday in the world of college football. I want to start off with the 16th ranked Demon Deacons of Wake Forest traveling to take on Army. And for the Demon Deacons, they want to try to keep their undefeated magic going at West Point. You look at what quarterback Sam Hartman has done so far this season, but then also what this Wake Forest defense has done as they have 20 team sacks along with 7 interceptions. And it's going to be important for the Demon Deacons to win first and second down defensively because you want to try to slow down this Army triple option attack. And in doing so, you're going to keep them in those third and long situations. Easier said than done. We've seen Army battle. They gave Wisconsin a run for their money last week and then some. And this is a darn good Army team. Wake Forest is going to have to work for it, but I'm going to take the Demon Deacons by the score of 34-27. Now, in the Big Ten, you're going to have Wisconsin traveling to West Lafayette to take on the 25th ranked team in the country. And I'm talking about the Purdue Boilermakers. And for the Boilermakers, they have to find a way to build off of last week's upset win over Iowa. Wide receiver David Bell could have a big impact in this game for Purdue. But the bottom line is this contest comes down to the defenses, as both of them are very staunch when they're on top of their game. And I think this is going to be a physical battle. Field position and turnovers are going to be important, and the first team to 20 is going to win. I'm going to take Purdue in the slight edge at home by the score of 20-17. Now, in the Big 12 conference, you're going to have the eighth ranked Cowboys of Oklahoma State traveling to Ames to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. And this is another big road test for the Cowboys. We saw them go on the road last week to Austin and beat Texas. And, I've said it before and I'll say it again right now. Oklahoma State is doing it with their defense. You look at linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez, and on top of that, the Cowboys have 19 team sacks, but they can still run the football effectively with Jalen Warren. On the flip side for Iowa, Brock Purdy, this is a senior campaign, but he's been up and down. But the Cyclones can run the football too with Brees Hall. So I think you're going to see two of the better ball carriers in the Big 12 going at it. But I give Oklahoma State the slight edge. And I'm going to take the Cowboys on the road by the score of 30-24. Now, in the Pac 12, you're going to have the 10th ranked Ducks of Oregon traveling to Pasadena to take on the UCLA Bruins in what could be a potential Pac 12 title game preview. Now, we look at running back Travis Dye. He's really had to pick up the slack in Oregon's running game right now due to injuries. Linebacker Noah Sewell can bring it as well for the Ducks, as can this secondary, which already has 9 picks, with 4 of them coming from Verone McKinley. But this Oregon defense is going to have their hands full with Dorian Thompson Robinson at quarterback for the Bruins. And DTR, it seems like he's been there forever. But you know what? He's a seasoned veteran of Pac 12 play. And he has talent around him this year, especially in the running game with Zach Charbonnet. What we've seen from UCLA so far, they have improved this year. And the bigger the game, the bigger the output that we've seen from the Bruins so far. I think they know the importance of this game. And I'm going to take UCLA at home by the score of 31-27. Now, in the SEC, you're going to have the LSU Tigers traveling to take on the 12th ranked Rebels of Ole Miss. And there's plenty of intrigue for this game. Um, we know the whole storyline that's surrounding LSU football right now with Ed Orgeron stepping down at the end of the year. And the Bayou Bengals, they came out and had one of their best offensive games last week at home with their win against Florida. So Max Johnson at LSU, as their quarterback, has to try to find a way to build off of that. The Bayou Bengals can run the football effectively with Tyrion Davis Price. And also, I expect linebacker Damone Clark to have a big impact in this game for LSU. 21 team sacks and 7 picks so far for the Bayou Bengals. And that's important because this defense has to find a way to slow down Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral. Wide receiver Dontario Drummond could have a big game in this one for Ole Miss because we've seen the injuries so far this year in the secondary for LSU. And I think this game right here, they could once again get exposed. I'm going to take Ole Miss at home by the score of 34-27. Now, in the ACC, you're going to have Clemson traveling to take on the 23rd ranked Pitt Panthers. And this is a big test for both teams because It hasn't been pretty for Clemson so far, but they've won some games. Obviously, their offense is a work in progress to say the least. And, for Pitt, this is a big time test for you because you've shown tremendous strides this year. And now you want to try to find a way to build off of that. And I know that this is a down year for Clemson, but Pitt still wants to take advantage of this to have this kind of bucket list win on their resume under head coach Pat Narduzzi. Now, when you think about Clemson right now, it's all about their defense, which is ranked 24th in the nation, as they're getting little to no production out of their offense, as it's been the defense which has carried them. But on the flip side with Pitt, and when you think about Pitt under Pat Narduzzi, you think about defense, but right now their offense is clicking with quarterback Kenny Prickett and wide receiver Jordan Addison. Now, Clemson can get after you as well, as they have 21 team sacks. And that's important because you think about this Clemson offense, which has struggled all season long. Pitt's at home. The crowd is going to be into it. I know that Clemson comes into this game unranked, but this is still could be a huge stepping stone if Pitt wins. And I'm going to take the Panthers at home by the score of 27-17. Now, in the Mountain West, you're going to have the 22nd ranked San Diego State Aztecs traveling to take on the Falcons of Air Force in what could be a potential Mountain West title game preview. Now, 20 team sacks and 8 picks so far for this Aztecs defense. And they've got to try to go out there and put the clamps on this Air Force triple option attack, which is led by running back Brad Roberts and quarterback Hazik Daniels. Air Force can bring it as well defensively, as they have 21 team sacks. And I know they're a little undersized, but they're very physical and they're very fast. I'm going to give Air Force a slight edge at home. And because of that, I'm going to take the Falcons the whole serve by the score of 31-24. Now, staying in the Mountain West, you're going to have the Wolfpack of Nevada traveling to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs. And Nevada has really put it together this year under head coach Jay Norville. I like what I'm seeing so far from quarterback Carson Strong. Running back Toa Tawa is one of the better ball carriers in the Mountain West, and linebacker Diane Henley can bring it. 27 team sacks, and 8 of those coming from defensive tackle Tristan Nicholas for the Wolfpack so far. They can get after you, and they're going to have their hands full with quarterback Jake Hayner of Fresno State, who is one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. Wide receiver Jalen Cooper could have an impact in this game for Fresno as well, but I'm going to take Nevada on the road by a squeaker, 34-30. And finally, finishing up in the Pac-12, you're going to have the Utes of Utah traveling to Corvallis to take on the Oregon State Beavers. Quarterback Cameron Rising for Utah, just like his name says, his stock has been rising as the season has progressed. I look at Utah linebacker Devin Lloyd, arguably one of, if not the best defensive players in the nation right now. And he's a guy that can bring it, and he'll hear his name early at next spring's NFL draft. 19 team sacks so far for the Utes, but this defense really wants to go out there and try to slow down Oregon State running back BJ Baylor. Now, the Beavers can bring it as well with linebacker Avery Roberts, while they have 10 interceptions. So they want to try to put some pressure on Cameron Rising. But with that said, I do think Utah is the better team. And because of that, I'm going to take the Utes on the road by the score of 31-23. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.